Special Counsel Jack Smith defending the indictment yesterday. Watch this.
As described in the indictment, it was fueled by lies. Lies by the defendant targeted at obstructing a bedrock function of the U.S. government, the nation's process of collecting, counting, and certifying the results of the presidential election.
Joining me right now is former FBI Special Agent Nicole Parker. Nicole, good to see you. Welcome back. Your reaction to all of this?
Wow. I took a read through the indictment. We've got a 45-page indictment, 4 counts, 6 unnamed co-conspirators. This is going to be an important case to look at. I'm very curious what's going to happen. Are these 6 unnamed co-conspirators eventually going to get charged? Is the prosecution going to potentially use these co-conspirators to flip on President Trump? And, whoever gets to the table first gets the best deal? I'm not certain of that. But what I can tell you is that the defense is, first of all, probably going to file a motion to dismiss the case. And if that doesn't happen, they'll also probably try to change the venue. We know that this is going to be charged. This has been charged out of the Washington, D.C. area. That is not a favorable area for President Trump. And, the jury pool there is not going to be in his favor, and the judge is definitely not going to be in his favor either.
Yeah, and this is what they were trying to do with a superseding indictment even before this, try to get a case out of Florida and into a place like Washington where they could have a better chance of getting a jury to convict. And that's not what we expected in Florida. Nicole, what about the idea that Devin Archer testified under oath and told the committee of the Oversight Committee that he, in fact, was in meetings several times, more than a dozen times, that Joe Biden called into those meetings with foreign nationals. And this, after one day of that testimony, we get this indictment.
Americans look at this and they think, we're seeing a pattern here. Okay, Americans are smart individuals. And I think it's now about 3 occasions where there's mounting evidence that's coming out about Hunter Biden or about his family, and it's almost the next day there's another charge against former President Trump. And I think that Americans they have lost trust in the criminal justice system because of this. Optics do matter. Facts matter, but so do optics. And it's just this overwhelming pattern of what appears to be a 2-tier justice system. Why is it that Hunter Biden, it took about 5 years for him to be charged with 2 misdemeanors by information, but yet it took 2 years to indict Trump so far on 3 indictments, 2 of them being federal and 1 local, and likely there will be another indictment coming through the pipeline. So isn't that interesting? 5 years to look into an investigation in Hunter Biden, where now there are whistleblowers coming forward. There are the FD 1023, there is mounting evidence coming out.
Yeah.
Should we expect to see a raid on his house soon? Should we expect to see something?
Yeah.
I have not seen that. And that's why Americans do not trust the criminal justice system right now. It appears to be that one side is getting one set of circumstances and the other side gets treated another way. I do not care where you stand on the political spectrum. It does not matter if you are a Republican, a Democrat, a conservative, a progressive. It has to be equal and it has to be fair. And frankly, Americans are now tuning out the entire thing. I've talked to multiple people and they're like, look, I don't even want to hear it anymore.
Right.
Another charge, another charge. And that's not where we want to be in this country. We want it to be credible and we want it to be fair.
Yeah, there's 170 suspicious activity reports against the Biden family. We've got bank records indicating that he's taken at least $17 million in one time frame from foreign nationals. Nancy Mace from the Oversight Committee told me she thinks it's upwards of $50 million that this family has taken in based on the evidence she has seen. We've got whistleblower evidence. Todd Pyro, real quick, jump in here because I know you just spoke with former FBI agent Chris Wecker. He said that this indictment reads like an op-ed. I'm trying to understand what the crime is because President Trump had an opinion that the election was stolen?
Yeah, you're not allowed to have an opinion allegedly anymore if you're the president of the United States and your name is Donald J. Trump. Look, this whole thing, as we all know, is going to come down to Donald Trump's state of mind. Jack Smith does run into a lot of problems considering his whole point is that Trump knew that his claims about 2020 were false. Yet when you hear Donald Trump, literally every time he's in the media, he says the 2020 election
gone.
Was stolen. So that's going to be tough. Just quickly, Nicole, we got to go here. But in your career in law enforcement, how often have you seen the charges that Jack Smith brought here?
I've never seen him in this context. I have not.
Yeah.
In my time as an FBI agent, I have not seen this. No, I have not.
Nicole, it's great to see you. Thanks so much.